Good evening, Francis. Welcome
Yeah,
to
good
the
evening,
Bottom
Paul.
discussion to our audience. Good evening. How are you, my brother?
Well, I'm grateful. Thank God for another day. It's a beautiful weekend. We expecting to have some rain and sunshine. So yeah, that will make it good. Cause the heat has been up for a while now. So other than that, how are you?
I'm pretty good and I'm enjoying the sunshine. Yesterday was really humid. Today, it kind of mellow a little bit. But the
Mm.
weather in Liberia is a friendly weather. It's good.
Mm.
No heat, cool breeze, sunshine. So yeah, it's good. It's good to be back here. Anyway, how's Sweden, by the
Yeah.
way, before we dive into our conversation tonight?
I mean, Sweden is good. I'm not, you said, you said the weather has been very humid here, dry, the heat, in on the tube or the, what you call it, the subway, you,
Mhm.
riding in the heat, man. So, like, oh my God. Yeah, so, yeah, but it's okay. We live in the Scandinavia. Like in a couple of months or weeks, we'll be going back to the cold. So, yeah,
Right,
it's
right.
okay. Yeah.
We'll be going back to the core. And tonight we'll have one of our guest panelists, Abba Moe, who will be joining us in a minute from now. I'll send him the link. We'll have a conversation and we'll also talk about what's happening around the world in local library a little bit. The program won't be that long. It's just because it's our Friday edition, so we want to have something going. Yeah. But anyway, what other news? What's happening around the world from your end? You guys are
Well, I
closer to
mean,
Russia. Go on.
yeah, Russia has been making a lot of strategic move in terms of strengthening its base around the world. I mean, Europe has been has not been so friendly, so kind to Russia. Russia has only to speak. They got only two friends in Europe, and that's Hungary and Belarus. The two friends they basically have. But since the attack on the unprovoked attack on Ukraine, incursion on the territory and the sovereign country, the Ukraine, Russia is turning its tentacles to Africa now.
Right.
You saw them in Sierra Leone and they're visiting other African countries. They are good friends with South Africa, I guess. So we see it. So.
Yeah. So I mean, they are making some sort of move because they had this conference that were held in St. Petersburg regarding the BRICS currency. And
Mm.
funnily, if you follow it, the lot of Asian countries that have applied to be part of that BRICS nation. And from the research I did, I think by October 1st, they will stop using the world currency, which is the US dollars.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and the BRICS currency, from what I learned, one bridge currency will be equivalent, say, to 50, I say 50 United States dollars for one bridge currency.
Mm.
And this is fascinating. I think Europe as well. So the way it's going, the way Russia have been pushing, I think the sanction that were put on Russia economically, they benefiting a lot because they were using the US dollars. Now they are not going to use their own currency. That put them in a better position that we don't have to deal with it. And equally so, the amount of people that's buying Russian oil with all the sanctions, they're benefiting a lot in this process. So something, and what catch my attention is the African nation that now turning to Russia.
Oh
It's
yeah,
something.
amen.
Yeah. So talk to me, friends. Because we see Burkina Faso, we see Niger, all these countries they now turn to Russia.
But
Something. Yeah.
I would like to touch on the economic aspect.
Right.
Uh, the U.S. dollar always being used for the balance of trade. In terms of transaction, international transactions,
Yeah.
it's been the dominant currency, and with the BRICS currency coming up, it might have an effect on the American, the U.S. dollar as strong trade currency. But mind you, this is America again they're playing with. America has all the good weather, all this sophistication to undermine these kind of what you call it, geopolitical ventures. I mean, you see how they broke down the whole what you call it, the Warsaw Pact. you know, I mean, so yeah, these things might survive for now, but since we on new dispensation,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it might be that a lot of countries have learned that America, strength and the way in which they have armed Russell, a lot of these guys and coerce them to, into a position that they cannot fight back. So Russia should have a lot of money because says you stated it right because of the sanction and they trading in their own currency now because they
Yes.
told people not I got the Russian what you call it what the using the rubies.
Robots. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Robots.
rubles. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, that are the two countries. And Europe, you want to buy our oil, you want to buy our gas. Because the guys you got oil and gas,
Yes.
and the winter, and countries. I mean, Germany is Germany was one of the trading partners, but Germany, the current administration, Germany is under serious pressure. But they still buy oil, gas for that because the people need to be warm during the winter. So we
Yeah.
look at it and see how it plays out. But I mean, as I stated, America, you cannot underestimate the power of America, how they tend to or suffocate a lot of these Eastern Bloc initiatives.
Yeah, I understand because they've been in the game for centuries and they've been after World War II, you see what the American did, but to coerce all the European countries, the Western European country to join NATO, and they and Britain is the two countries that have been leading the fight. So if you look at it, they used that was the economic power that they used and it benefited a lot. Imagine you get one country that their currency is the currency of the world that no one else can trade without their currency. So they coming up with the five nations, and the five nations, the five, yeah, those nations, they are also economic power. Look at China, Russia, China, Brazil, South Africa, India. These are big powerhouse. For them to form their own currency, that's something will be fascinating that we all watch all to see what's going to happen. Whether the dollars and the pounds will still have that strong value that they have. So it's something that we all look at. They say October, that's when their currency coming to be. And I read something that Malaysia, and Singapore of this country in Asia now been applying for the BRICS nation. Some African country also want to apply for that currency to use it. And I don't know if these people going to have that currency. And we in West Africa were told that ECOWAS were going to have their own currency. Up to now, we don't know what's happening. That currency have not come out yet. And something that we started in Africa, the European came, they ran with it. You know all this thing about OAU, ECOWAS, it all started before this EU thing came about. And look,
Yeah,
this let's go and we're still behind. What do you think?
yeah, but Paul, if those who are very, very grounded in, history and politics, you will get to know that most of the ideas that were grounded in Africa, that germinated from Africa, the European, the West took it because they have the the finance to do it, and they have the intellect to work together as opposed to Africans, where we are more of we like that collectivism, but we are still individuals. We talk about individualism when we think about our country, we're going to benefit, So the most times, our ideas that that are being originated, it died quickly because of greed and self interest. Unlike the Europeans, in a country like in Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
the Swedish crown is kind of weak, and the people are opting to join the euro, because because of the trade deficit that we have right now with the Swedish krona. So you know all these ideas came from Africa, but we just can. I mean, that's the single continent, single currency. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, it just didn't work. Kwame Nkrumah and sort of, thought about those things, but it
Mm-hmm.
just didn't work, man.
Yeah. So for our audience, for those of you who joining us for the first time, this is the Bottomland Liberia. We come on every Tuesday and Friday. Today is one of our today is to focus on international news and what's happening. Although we'll talk a little bit about Liberia, but our focus is what is going on in the world. We know there's a war in the Ukraine. There's also problem in the Middle East, and now the world leaders, America trying to find new leader, which I think, in my opinion, I think Donald Trump should beat Joe Biden because Joe Biden, since he came to power, is have always been trouble around the world, and seems to have no solution. So I think if those in America, it's about time that they change somebody else because the way things are going, by Russia sending their ships to Cuba and the America supplying arms, something could badly happen. We all be wiped out of this planet. This is about time that they change leadership. And I don't know why those two old people in America, all the young leaders, they just about to get people at that age, the same thing that we saw from in Liberia. I don't know, but it's my opinion. I think they should get rid of Joe Biden. This is about time that we need but having said that, going back to Russia, that making headway in Africa, a lot of African countries now turning to Russia for massive development. And our own neighbors, Sierra Leone, a recent time gone to the Russian to sign a contract to build a nuclear plant in Sierra Leone. So before I want to play this video and then we can discuss it. This is the Sierra Leone foreign minister have visited Moscow for that signing ceremony. So to our audience, please follow this. It's very fascinating. Hold on. I'm gonna play this. This is interesting.
Russian foreign minister and his Sierra Leonean counterpart held talks in Moscow focusing on bolstering bilateral relations. Kaba congratulated Russian President Vladimir Putin on his election victory and the inauguration that took place earlier. Today, I'm very pleased to be here to help deepen and strengthen cooperation between our countries. And I'd like to congratulate President Vladimir Putin on his confident victory and his inauguration today, and I wish him and all the Russian people further prosperity. Lavrov underscored Sierra Leone's status as Russia's steadfast partner in Africa, emphasizing the significance of strengthening ties through enhanced diplomatic engagement.
И второй вопрос, если позволите, к вам, Сергей Викторович.
We plan to open new diplomatic missions on the African continent, including Freetown. In Freetown, we expect to do this before the end of this year. All the necessary decisions have been made. It is necessary to implement them, which is a practical task, and we're working on it. The Russian minister also mentioned exploring cooperation in nuclear energy, including the potential construction of a nuclear power plant in Sierra Leone.
One simple but brilliant trick to cool your home in 90 seconds. Tired of hot and stuffy rooms during
You listen to the you listen to the Saudi foreign minister. And interestingly, he spoke Russian.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what caught my attention? I remember when I went to study in the USSR about then. The Sierra Leone government, they know the Russians were giving us scholarships. And Guineans, Sierra Leoneans, Ghanaians, how do you call it, Ivorians, they took advantage of the scholarship that the Russians were giving. So they gave Liberia at the time 200 scholarships. Were only 16 students that were able to leave from Liberia. Only 16. When I got to Moscow, and from Moscow, then I went to Kiev, where I studied. In Kiev, they have over 500 Sierra Leoneans studying in Kiev. Ghanaians, forget it. They were just there in thousands. They took advantage. So they listened to that foreign minister who have studied with us. Decided, look, let's take the opportunity and get something from Russia, because now the West, they're looking for friends instead of because the West don't want anyone to be friendly with them. This is the opportunity. Let's take it now. Look, these guys are going to build a massive nuclear plant that will supply them with energy. Talk to me, Francis, from that video. What do you think?
Look, I think that's a political, charade. The American embassy, moreover, is just close by. The Russians are going to open an embassy. No, I know, just at the back of the back of Liberia, our neighboring country. Although it's a sovereign country. I mean, it has its rights to ties with any other country, but it's the same way the war started, because Ukraine was closer, and the NATO was, NATO, the American alliance wanted Ukraine to join the NATO alliance. So I don't think it's gonna work, because Sierra Leone had benefited a lot over the years from the Millennium Challenge. They have basically, got almost $1 billion in for the past years, 5-6 years. Because every year they won the challenge, they have some $200-400 million going to them. So I think it will be an interesting, play out right there to see how they're going to go about that. I mean, it's one thing to go to a country and as a diplomat, and have some talks, negotiation. But when it comes to putting pen to paper on that, it might be some other issue, because he has to come back home. I don't know. It was with the acquiescence with the president of Sierra Leone. I don't know.
Yes. So
it might be because it has to be because the president, is the chief policy. Because the president is a resident of America too.
Yeah,
He wants to
what
spread
he said,
America.
this is clever. He said the fight between Russia and America, it have nothing to do with Sierra Leone.
Yeah, most countries saying that.
It's so we're going to benefit us. That's what we're going to go for. Hell no to our colonial power, Great Britain. No, but we've been here for years. We've been serving our electricity like Liberia as well. But we're going to use this opportunity to take advantage of what we can get. And this is what they're going. And so if you look at other countries like Burkina Faso and Niger, all of these countries seem to, if you follow the Tuareg ball in Burkina Faso that brought in 400 agricultural tractors, eating where it coming from. So they are benefiting from that new alliance that they're creating. So I mean, what will benefit? Yeah, people do that fight because after every 100 years, the Western, especially European, they always kill each other. So it's about time. So are they going to do the same thing? No. Let Africa benefit before they start destroying each other. That's why the Saudis taking advantage of this.
Italian kids, we need to go back to Africa before they start doing that stuff.
Exactly. So when it's exactly, yeah, they come on outside, do our thing. So when they start bumping each other, we sitting in our village and yeah, woo, 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 and nobody know what's going on. Say, oh, that World War 10, wherever they want to call it, is their business, but let us benefit. So you're right. They are going closer to Liberia as well because there was a Russian embassy in Liberia during the Cold War. There was Russian embassy. I don't know why they broke that tie. It should have a Liberian embassy in Moscow as well, one of the biggest embassies. So I don't know. It just the Civil War just brought everything to a complete hold. But anyway, having said that, what's happening in Kenya? Very fascinating thing that happened. On the 200 Kenya had died from the protests, and young people decided to say no, enough is enough. That this president came up with the radical thing about the new account that he set up to raise taxes on even sanitary power for women, mobile phone, and bread. So the young people look and say this thing is out of hand. And majority of young people are unemployed in Kenya. They have graduated from university, there's no job. So bread that they eat, he added value added tax on it. So the young people decided to organize themselves and have the massive protest. And here we are now. They have used the military and the police to massacre their own peoples. Peaceful protest. Today now they're calling for him to step down. I don't know if you've been following this story. Talk to
No,
me, friend.
I'm on top of that. I'm on top of the events that are occurring in Kenya, Nairobi. It's quite unfortunate that the president Ruto, I mean,
Yeah.
he had an overstretched hand. It was very heavily and a hand when he instructed the police and military to disperse the crowd and in such a fashion. The levy of taxes and tariffs on everything, or it was on everything in Kenya.
Yeah.
The only thing probably was, was the air you breathe. There was no tax on it, but even the people had a plot of land, the farms, the cattle, they were all taxed because he had the ambitious plan to raise, I think, about what, 20 billion or how many billions of dollars going trying to raise. It was over ambitious. So the economy right now is in dire straits in Kenya, and a lot of people are unemployed, college graduates cannot find job, and so they decided to protest against that, and it did not go well. First, it started up with the alignment of the opposition as usual, and then it came to tribes, you got the Kikuyu and Luos, I think he's a Kikuyu guy or something, kind of G or whatever he is, one of the
Yeah.
tribes. Yeah, but I mean, the end result was that the people fought, the young people fought for their rights, and that the government, suspended the imposition of those tariffs or taxes on those basic goods and services, that will have, strangulated the people in Kenya. So, yeah, it was very unfortunate.
And now the very protester now, after the massacre 200 of those young people, what happened? They're now calling for him to step down. See?
Yeah, I mean, Ruto has survived a lot of stuff. Ruto was he was indicted for war crimes, crimes against humanity and stuff that he managed to skatingly escape, be I don't know, the charges were dropped, so he's a survivor. He was vice president to Kenyatta, who openly opposing. Yeah, I mean, so Kenyatta went to support what's a guy named Riala Odinga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Ruto is a survivor, and Ruto, he's gonna stand the test of times, and what demands they have for him to resign. It may not succeed.
Right. Yeah. So I know our guest panelist will be joining. He's in the background, getting his camera set up. We'll bring his well, before bringing in Francis. Uh, Abba will introduce himself when he come. He's a political analyst as well, and he's gonna let me not say anything. So before we bring him on, let's just take a quick little intro, and then bring him on.
All right.
Yes, so we're back on the bottom line. For those of you that follow us, this is the bottom line Liberia. We have our guest panelist today, Mr. Albert Moore. Let me bring him on. See, welcome, comrade.
Evening, my dear brothers in Radio Land. I'm proud to join you. I've been watching your show for several years, so I have great interest in joining you on matter of national interest of the Republic of Liberia. Um, the issue of our country concern all of us, and I am pleased to join you for also discuss to lay the foundation for a better Liberia. So
Great.
I'm glad to be with you this evening
Yeah.
at this point in time.
So before Francis Mensah is our one of the host here. He's based in Sweden. So introduce yourself to our audience and what you do for living. Who is Mr. Mower? Talk to us, and then we take it from there. And
Oh,
yeah,
great.
you got a specialty as well.
Oh, great. I'm a Liberian national. I live in the United States in Chicago. I do work as a public teacher. I do work as um, uh, I where should I say as a uh, as an infantry specialist in medical supplies at one of Chicago leading hospitals in Illinois. Um, who am I? A Liberian national. I have working experience from the Republic of Liberia during the war years, to be exact, 1994. They returned to Liberia and I worked as a director for youth services at the Ministry of Youth and Sport. I, at one time, I worked like the Ministry of Planning and Economic Affairs. My profession, I'm a political economist, and with little institutional working experiences around the world. I have worked here in the diaspora with the Liberian National Association called ULA, a Union of Liberian Association in America. One time served as vice president for Northern Region. So far, I said, otherwise, you want to hear something else from me. I've been following the development of Liberia, and it's an issue of concern for all of us. So I've been following your show, I've been following your discussions, and I would love to join you to see whether I can make any contribution that we all need to put our efforts together for a better Liberia. So, ladies and gentlemen, in and around the world, I am Albert Elliot Mwe, a present resident of the city of Chicago, United States of America. Thank you. Do
Frank,
you hear me?
do you want to welcome Albert?
Yeah, but welcome. And I'm Francis Menza. I reside in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm a Liberian. Now I've been involved in a lot of community work here. I'm currently the president of the the umbrella associations of all Liberians, which is called Liberian organizations in Europe, which is called EFLA, and it's similar to EULA. So I've engaged. We have been engaged with some of EULA activities, and the current president and the past immediate past president. So yeah, so no, welcome to the show, Liberia. Interest all of us. We are concerned about the socio-economic development in our country, what is unfolding, and how we all can help contribute in terms of our critical analysis and of issues in Liberia. So welcome to this show. We would love to have your depth of experience in as a political what you call it economist. So I know you know a lot of the whole the global geopolitics that's unfolding around the world. We'll be talking a lot about that as well. So welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Right. And furthermore, we're just talking about some of the surrounding with your. Let me make this clear. Our and I study in Russia together as well. So he's fluent in Russian, and we're just talking about Sierra Leone signing uh, uh, how do you call it,
The
MOU.
MOU
Yeah,
for a nuclear power plant in Sierra Leone.
to build a nuclear power plant in Sierra Leone, and their foreign minister went to Moscow and spoke fluent Russian. And I was just telling friends is that look, there was opportunity that was given to a lot of African. Liberia did not take advantage of that. Sierra Leone were there in thousands. And today, those guys now decided, look, let's get what we can get from Russia because there's issue now between there and the West, and Russia is looking for friends around the world. People are taking advantage of the situation. Like Burkina Faso, Mali, and all of these countries now, Sierra Leone had joined onto the Bear Welcome. So I don't know if you did following the story. That's the discussion was happening when you came on. So you want to chime in?
Well, well, that's good. I feel that individual countries around the world should determine what they want. That would be good for them. Then just to be control on a so-called influence from the country that you don't actually benefit from. But you have to also think what would be good for your society. Why are you going to get out of a nuclear power plant? Will it boost your economy? If so, then you go for it. Uh, what we do see in the world today is it just be good for every country to be prepared to defend its territorial limit in terms of uh, threat, economic threat. You should be able as a country to decide your own role into the global economy where you can you can exchange goods and services from your country, not always to be in a begging position, to be waiting for handouts. How best you can use your resources, then for somebody else to use it. You have to, we have to think as Africans. What do I do with natural resources? If you look at many countries, but there be specific to our own scenario back home. Uh, if you go around the world, seeing the economic history of other countries, and thinking about Liberia, whereby in the 60s or 50s, or the highest period, or the highest purified or iron ore was was in Liberia. At that time, only two countries in the whole world were knowing about that: Venezuela and Liberia. What did we gain from it? Iron ore were taken or used for other countries, and other countries build their cities. What did we get? I have the experience to go to Nima and I went to look at tour in the war year. And I got to the border and I stood on the Liberian side and the ducks were all over every one of us, even the little building they had there. When you look to the Ivorian side, you see a prepared road leading to the border. You see the offices of the security officer all painted uniform. They are intact. The only thing I saw on our side was dust and a little building standing there, everybody going up and down. So I asked the guy, I said, tell me something, man. If this is place, the iron ore, the, the one of the highest uh, quality of iron ore, if this is place the iron ore coming from, and he like, oh no, if you go to Yegepa, you will see the place beautiful. I say, oh no, I'm not talking about the company side. I'm talking about the country from which the iron ore was coming from. This is the border of the Republic of Liberia to the outside world. I know that the war did not break anything down here, right? And so we have to think, what what does Sierra Leonean want? What what does Sierra Leone want to get from building a nuclear power in Sierra Leone? That is the issue. But I guess the brother within that country knows exactly what what is the interest of the national economy. Every nation must build its national economy according to the interest of its citizens. So we look forward to see the new global world. Uh, Competition in the world, I think it will bring lasting peace. If if you have if you have a strong economy, you will legalize your oil on the world market. When people need something from you, the way you want to give it or the way you want to sell it, and not just like ours where everything is taken away. Since 1927, an agreement was signed for rubber plantations on the land of the Republic of Liberia. We have one of the biggest farms of rubber plantation. You got Fire, Firestone. Should I describe it as Central Liberia between Grand Bazaar and Mangibi? Then you have one on the northeastern side of Grand Bazaar, known as LAC, the Liberian Agricultural Company. I spent some time in those areas. Then you go to the southeastern. I learned the rubber plantation in the southeastern is the largest in Liberia. And almost 100 years, we have not produced a rubber slipper in Liberia. And unemployment is climbing year in, year out. So we got to think, what do we want? How we want to build our national economy. So these are the present issues that country need to study. So I look forward to see how the plan in Sierra Leone works with Russia coming in, signing for you say a
Nuclear power plant, yeah.
nuclear power plant.
Mm-hmm.
What will you bring? Electricity?
Electricity, yeah, that's
will be working day and night.
electricity.
Yeah, probably the neighboring country like us, the Guinea, the Liberia, the Guinea, uh, Africa already got power, but we all could benefit from it. So I don't, we don't know exactly at this point, but I know that there will be a huge electricity power that is needed for people to have jobs. That people will work 24 hours, 7 days a week, as we've seen it in other developed world.
Mm.
So, what should I say? I welcome such an idea to see.
Friends, say you want to come in?
Yeah, we did touch a little, a lot. We covered that, parameter of the Russians' engagement in the sub-region, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and Mr. Moa said basically, it was we're in sync with what we were saying, in line, exactly, because as a country, independent country is or sovereign country, has its right to work and create diplomatic relationship with any country that it sees befitting, especially that it has a huge economic benefit for its people. And so we'll watch, as I stated earlier, we'll watch how it goes, how it unfolds, because that nuclear power plant, uh, it might be good, but it's very expensive to maintain. Yeah, and we should be very careful with that as well. Sierra Leoneans, should be careful. Uh, the radiation, a lot of stuff, associated with nuclear power plant. So you should have the maintenance aspect of it tight, very covered. So in the event of any kind of unfortunate situation or mishap, be able to manage and put under control. But again, it creates job. Uh, Investors will come and the economy will boost because you have electricity. You cannot attract investors without electricity. Sierra Leone has been, way back behind, way behind, other countries like Ivory Coast and Guinea, what it is. So So it's a welcome and user interesting to see how it works out, how it plays out.
Right. So, uh, Comrade Moore, I just want to ask, you did mention something about a sovereign nation that in looking at geopolitics as well, how country need to stay firm economically. You think is it about time that your country, Liberia, engage the Russian as well, like what is doing there? Is it possible?
Well, every country got to study the situation, but I think from what we have experienced as a country almost 200 years, if not on a day of proclamation with more than 200 years now, what we are experiencing, the underdevelopment, lack of national plan, all of these things, we got to be more or less social, economic, scientific to do something on our soil. What do we need? We I went back to Liberia for studies from Kiev and the problem of the war, the destruction, the devastation of the country, the little infrastructure that we had, everything went. But one of the things we were discussing at all discussion in the war year was to restore electricity. And more than almost 30 years plus now, we can't have enough of electricity. And you got rivers surrounding the country, even natural or I could tell me a natural hydro you create. You go to central Liberia, the the river fall. You go behind Grand Bassa in places rivers. You got natural waterfall. These areas were being developed to supply central electricity. When electricity comes in, when electrification comes in, that can boost the economy of any developing country. Even people who have talents, they begin to do something. Somebody may begin to develop or create wheelbarrow, shovel. For example, they show something on Facebook the other time, or the little young guy called Weeks went to somewhere in Nima County, and this young Liberian boy had developed some powerful equipment that could be used. All the state need to do is to put money in there and put a group of engineers together to see how that thing can be advanced. So that sooner or later we have a yellow machine being made in Liberia, or I would call it calipator, because a young boy sat down, he put all the things, and you can literally see them that they can work, but they are not that effective as a regular one. What did he use? The young guy who are not going somewhere in science, he uses the juice as as gasoline to empower the engine. So Liberia need to do something. We need to have national symposia to discuss our economy. Do we really want to have a national economy? Or we want to be just a market ground for other countries, like some of the things that is done in Liberia? Uh, you sit down in your village, and the next thing you will hear that the government has sent miners or loggers, and they are coming in with their equipment, their trucks, and they go into the mountain behind your village that is being sold to them. So sometimes I wonder what is wrong, because those mountains and laws in those villages is not for the Liberian government. Those things belong to the dweller, the people that inherited those places by birth. For example, you're going to dig Worogisi. Who owns Worogisi? When you ask every Liberian, I will tell you, oh, that's the government. It is not the government. The government does not own anything until it is given to the state. The people in that area, the inhabited that mountain, everything within that mountain is for them. Now, national government has the power to export the mountain, but who is supposed to benefit? It is between the country and a group of people in Monrovia, known as the government of Liberia. They go and tell the people, look, you will benefit from what is known as corporate social benefit. What is corporate social benefit? It doesn't work in developing countries.
Right. So
it doesn't work.
My question to you was,
yeah.
Will Liberia take advantage of what Sierra Leone have done to make that bold step to ask? Because for over 200 years, we just talk with one person per se, one person, and that one person have brought government down in Liberia. Is it about time that we look elsewhere for our own development? Can we be bold enough in Liberia to do that?
I think Liberia should look anywhere for help, and not just to be controlled in a political hand. You need to have your national economy in your interest, and not to only take economic advice from advanced level country. Because so now the application that is being used in the advanced country, you can't use it in the developing country. You have to start from somewhere. If, for example, INF comes and tell you, oh, you have to do this before you do the production of this and this. But when the countries are now advanced today, when they started at a very low level. So Liberia, to answer that question, Liberia needs to look anywhere where it can find its needs to export its national economy. You want to export the Orogisi Mountain. First of all, we got to know what is there. Are we going to sell it or you going to give it to a company? As I usually say, we pay our taxes. We pay our taxes, so the finish paying taxes, they take everything that they want in the country and go. That's economically is wrong. The thing for those people in Lofa, it should be sold. Look at it at the wall price. Let's say it was being one piece of law of that was being or kilometer of data being sold for $150 US. Let the people in Lofa make a deal and sell it to the company for $75 or $100. If it doesn't make profit, then I go somewhere else and get it. So I don't know the kind of mineral that is in the Worogisi Mountain for now.
So
but provided they're going to expose it, let the mineral be sold so that the people in Lofa and the national government will find a construction company that will build the roads, the facility, the infrastructure that they need, and to extend helping hand to other areas. Not to say what they do, they made the arrangement in Monrovia and certain directors, ministers, down to the president, they get percentages, then they send the people, and the people go there. So just tell them they will get corporate social benefit. The people go and begin to work. When the people ask, if you are the superintendent appointed by the president, by the time you ask and the press make a mistake and make a publication of your concern, the next day you are replaced.
Right. So on that note, I want to bring Francis in here.
Okay.
Ben of Liberia has gone over 200 years. So the mountain in Nima County, pretty soon it will be depleted, finished.
Yeah.
All of those. So those things, you can extract everything from in it, it's all gone. For the next 200 years, what become of our great grandchildren if all of those things are depleted? And would not, the reason why I ask the question is that the Liberia should look elsewhere. That's what I'm coming from. Because at some point in time, we'll not have that, we'll not have gold, diamond, and all of those things anymore. What
Nope.
become of the country? So friends say it's just a thought, because we cannot be living year in, year out, say, oh, get natural resources, but all the thing there will finish at some point.
I mean, that when it comes in the vision of, innovation and diversification. I mean, uh, you need to have innovative people that will see beyond the horizon, that will look at the younger generation, for the future. I mean, the Western countries that we find ourselves in, uh, the people, their planning is basically geared towards and focused towards the generation, people to come, because it is an evolving process. People will come and die, and people will take over. So they create the environment for the younger generation, or those unborn, to take over. Unlike Liberia, we are unknown people. We are today's people, and that mindset has to change, uh, so that the young people, or the generation that are coming after, also after we have the opportunity, or to harness or develop what we left over, because you said this thing will be depleted. So when innovation comes in, I mean, countries like Sweden and Norway, other places, I mean, they do not have the mineral resources that we have, but the engineer, we need to train people in the technical area. I mean, most of us who just want to be in the business area and economics, want to be lawyers, and we want to be managers. But these countries are driven by the technicians, the technocrats. So when we have a lot of these people, our young people, uh, you know, uh, grounded in a very vocation, in a area, then I think that there will be a way or means forward to turn these, limited resources we have, that will be left, to a more rewarding and more beneficial product, or public economy of skills that has to be developed for our people. But as I stated, Liberia, just now, we now people. We don't think about tomorrow. It's just now. So unfortunately, I hope that it will change. That whole mindset can change, and the young people, will leave something for them. If not the resources, but will leave structures in the place that they can use and build upon.
So
Yeah.
what say you, commemorate as political economists, look at if everything depleted, what become of our country? We just a country, and Francis said it right, Liberia of now. We beg every day. So what become of our great children years to come?
Thank you, from Chulipit, Lord Chulipit. Um, as Francis said, we need to study as a country. Uh, you have to know how much do you have before you give up. So we train all of the people, you kind of people graduated from various countries around the world. They are in Liberia. But let me limit it to the graduate from the universities in Liberia. You got people graduating from business colleges, young with economic degree. Nobody put them to use. They end up working merely as a little clerk, either in bank or in Lebanese people's schools. You get frustrated and you do anything. So we need to study our natural resources and the usages. We have this quantity of oil in Manima. How much from 10 years from now, why should we take away from that? How we should manage to reserve it for the future? How are we using the oil? Is the oil doing anything for us? Do we use it to pay our role? Do we grind the rocks to do anything with it in Liberia? Are we producing common tires? Are we producing any material from there that we use for building of our cities or homes? So we have to study to know how much quantity of this that we should use, how much of our forest we should deplete from for this purpose, and how well should we go reforestation so that we not lose the natural resources completely. Then, as you study the national economy, there are areas that you will develop so the country can continue to progress. Because you can only depend on I ain't finish, there's no job. Everybody drop and come around Monrovia and Buchanan looking for work. So you started, we are now dealing with the old, okay? What happened to our forest? What happened there? Nobody cares. You got some people just coming in by the wayside. They enter Liberia. The only thing we see trucks leaving from here. That the war years while in Liberia, there was a company that called, I think it's the OTC. They guys were using the port of Buchanan, and they were taking the law from Riverside in one of Liberia's virgin forests, one of Liberia's virgin forests in that country. And I went to Riverside. I was passing through Riverside to go to Sando, my first time going to Sando in Greenfield. And I went to a little town when you cross the Timu River into Grand Bassa. So I sat down there, then I saw one of my cousins who was one of the drivers of the trucks. So I quickly went to him. I said, "Hey, boy," I said, "My man, I want to understand something, man." He said, "Yeah." So I said, "How many trucks you have on the road?" He said, "Oh, of course, we got about 150. So I said, "You drive one of them?" He said, "Yeah." I said, how many trips do you have to make?" And he said, "Everybody got to make about 5 trips a day." So I said, how many loads do you have on one truck to go? 11. 10 to 11. So that put it at 10. So you got 150 trucks making 5 loads with 10 loads on them to the port. You think about it. How many loads were taken out of Liberia within a week? And what were the taxes paid? But in an economic sense, you and I live in a developed world. Taxes are different from the price of a material, of a good. I pay taxes to have lesson. You got a lesson to operate a business in London. And that's the only thing you pay. Because what is seen in Liberia, the people pay their registration for a concession company, and that's it. What are the taxes they pay? Do they pay taxes about the grain of gold that you take per cubic meter of law? We need to know these things. The man carrying a log of 150 cubic meter, but the only thing here they pay their taxes, and that taxes they're talking about, I know, is the annual registration. Because if they were paying on cubic meter, country that rivers were being reached during the war yet. OTC asked anybody if you went on the road, there's two things that roll on a daily basis for the trucks to come and go.
Yeah, it was a Malaysian company from Malaysia.
Yes. And what I heard, those companies were Shasida company.
Yeah.
But how could that be that one Liberian we had an election and other people elected as senators and representatives in government? Under what condition one man will have this company to operate and take all the laws out of the country before they've been paid for? One example, during the normal time now, Charles Silverton had passed. The chief warlord that carried the war will water her political power to satisfy her and her friends of the world. Ellen Johnson got that. So I had one brother whom I knew very well, came to visit Chicago at that point in time. He was a representative from NEMA. So we discussed the reopening of the iron ore to, how they call it, metal steel. And so I said, why is the arrangement now, brother? He said, oh, yes, this time it's better for NEMA because NEMA is going to get $3 million a year. So I said, oh, $3 million? He said, yeah, for the first time. You know, something is happening in the country. So I looked on that. I said, comrade, that is the same thing. It does not give any qualitative interest, any benefit to NEMA. He said, oh, we never had that kind of money before. I said, $3 million, that's going to be your pocket change. So I said, okay, I agree, $3 million. How many calipators can $3 million buy to connect inside NEMA County, connect the villages? How many engineers will you hire? And how long will $3 million stay with you? I said, besides that, let's look at a simple thing. How many worth that of the iron ore that this company gets per year that you taking $3 million? What is the percentage? Then he said, oh no, we didn't go by percentage. So I said, that is wrong. So you tell the person you are told, give me $3 million and you go ahead and take what you want. That's the contract you signed. So the people within 6 months, they got $3 billion and you got $3 million. Why is $3 million? Why is $3 million? Why is the percentage of $3 billion? And you only got $3 million a year. Now you are going to be called a rogue because $3 billion cannot do anything. But these people taking away $5 billion within a year, and you are going to get $3 million. Now you take the blame because no development will be shown in NEMA.
So Chairman,
yeah.
this is an age-old problem in Liberia. But having said that, we have come to our 1 hour mark that was scheduled for today. We need to have a general discussion on this because Francis said that we need leader with innovation. This is an age-old problem. Year in, year out, we've been hearing the thing from bone mines, from how they call it, Lamco, and then you go Gurish, all those names. Nothing have changed. And we get children that we're going to leave behind. Will it be the same thing? So, Francis, I don't know what you think before we go. Let me see. One there's a comment on from one of our viewers here.
What if you were
Where you
saying?
say company were paying taxes but not going to the counties. Central government
So,
always use the taxes of the people and nothing going to the people. It's what you're seeing. That's what this guy is saying here. You see? So
but
Francis,
Paul,
yeah.
yeah, Paul. I mean, on that note, I mean, it was a good show. Just to piggyback on where my friend and brother said, Douglas, you know, uh, it makes no difference right now. It makes no difference right now because the money is still going to, I mean, to the counties, but the people in Nima County do not get the money. The social development fund, I mean, from Bonk, I went to Bonk County, say they don't get the money. So there should be a proper mechanism put into place. So that where it will be no hurdles, the money will be that will go directly into the county's account and be used for the entire for the intended purpose. Mismanagement of the funds is a commonplace.
Yeah.
I mean, the superintendents and the senators. I mean, it's a way for them. I mean, to carry their personal projects. Yeah, So, it's an issue problem. I mean, we hope that for Liberia to to rise up from these ashes. I mean, we need people with innovation. We need young leaders uh, who will put the country above themselves. You know, who would not just go there for, I mean, to pocket the money. I mean,
I
and
got
then
lost, but I'm back.
and do nothing for the country. So it was a good show. We need to have more of these discussions. So that we can help. I'll send a message out there to to the government and to our people, so they may help educate them. So, but what is
Right.
our opinion was, So thank you for the
So,
show, and
so
thanks,
before you
thanks
leave,
to Abba more.
before we leave, Francis, you want to update us what's happening in Germany for Liberia Association in so just a brief
Oh,
to our audience.
exactly. Oh, man, it's a grand occasion happening in Wolfsburg, Germany, the July 26th celebration. I know every year for the past 10 years, Liberians in Europe have congregated, have met in a particular city, a country, to celebrate the Independence Day. And this year, we're going to have it in Germany. And we will have it's a 3 days occasion event. Friday on the 25th, we're having the meet and greet and the annual Congress of European Federation of Liberian Association, EFLA. On Saturday is a formal program, the indoor program, the red carpet event. We having an array of government officials. We have Senator Amara Cornet, who will be the keynote speaker. We have some other, our friends and brothers from EULA. The president, Mr. Mohamed Keita, he will be, coming as well from the United States. We'll be having a football tournament, amongst Liberian teams, teams from Sweden. We anticipate, although it has not been finalized, but we have discussions with the Trenton, the New Jersey, the Trenton Old Timers team is supposed to come as well. And we have a host of government officials from Monrovia coming and our brothers from Europe. The Lord Our children will be in the house. We'll be bringing out that the Jack Daniels that we did not drink since Omer Boycott did not have not signed. The World Economic Crime Code. But so it's an open invitation to Liberians, in Europe and in the diaspora in the United States. You can always come. It's happening in July 25th to the 29th in Wolfsburg, Germany.
In Wolfsburg, Germany. So thank you for the update. Comrade Moore, talk to us because with any departing comment, because we'll be here Tuesday next week again, and then we can find a day that will have the in-depth conversation of the concession area that have been signed, what it is, and what people have not been benefited for these years, while we still be a country of a nation of beggars, I will call it. I mean, so we can talk in depth and how we can educate our people and provide some suggestion what they need to do. Talk to us before we shut down.
Yes, to make a closing comment is one of the things that I would love for us to do concern Liberian. Liberian various specialties for our national interest, for our future after us. I believe we should make history. We should make history. Development history should be left behind. Even those people that believe the Bible commands people of the past to lay stone on the land that God had given to them. So we got to question ourselves, the Liberian. Are we laying stone? So one of the things I want for us to do, those of us in the diaspora, to put our efforts together to create the opportunity of national symposia, create workshops, symposiums. We had discussion. We have it in the diaspora and we have it in Liberia. So we can present in a concrete platform the way we do see for our national economy to be functional or to be operated within. That is to say, we have workshops here and we go to Liberia. I know it entails resources, so we have to find the resources to do that. The year already gone, but we can see to start making preparations. So we can't just talk. So we find concrete way that we can push our country agenda forward in terms of development. Then that way we sell the idea. The national platform will be sold to those who want to be politicians. And we educate our people on it. If you see people that cannot respond to these things, they don't understand what we need, what we want as a country, do not elect them into offices because they will not know what to do. If you cannot think of building factories in Liberia, if you cannot have the thinking that steel can be made in Liberia, if Guinea next door, the people are producing parts, Africa producing parts, we go and buy coal parts from from Africa or from Guinea. If we don't have people who understand national economy to do this kind of thing, so our people can know who to elect to lead the country, Liberia needs to know. Liberia need to be prepared so they will choose their managers, not only. And then, besides that, there are many issues we discuss, but one of the issues we need to discuss is the form of government called a unitary government.
Okay.
I
All
know
right.
in the world we have maybe about 160 country. If you check most of the country, most of them got problems with Liberia.
Okay.
However,
So,
our
so
own is worse.
yeah. So on
So
that
we need
note,
to, yeah, we need to create the means of putting funds together so we can have national symposia abroad and home. So both sides of the coin, we can know it. What do we want as a country? What to be done in our country? How we build our highway? What are needed on the highway? You people building houses in the city without rule, no housing, no zone to control. Anybody build anything they want. And the war has created the situation in Monrovia or in Liberia per se, but let's look at Monrovia. The wartime, there was no protection. So everybody decided to come to Monrovia or in larger city of fear of what happened to them behind the bush. So we need to put money together. We got to create an idea and run the campaign so we can go home, the various experts, how we see our country, how our forest should be used, how this should be used, and where are the area do we need port? Do we need one little port in Monrovia, one
right,
second hand and one in Buchanan, and
great.
what the ports are used for, so we can help to change the dynamics.
So we'll have a show that will focus 2 hours on that conversation. So it
Okay.
was great having you here. Our guest Francie enjoy your talking and the points that you're making, which it will benefit Mama Liberia. And to our viewers, for those that are following us, you can also catch on the online radio. The bottom line, Liberia is 24/7. Well, the World Happy is also relay on that. And on Tuesday, we'll be here. We're here every Tuesday and Friday. Sometime we'll come in whenever everyone is available. So we don't have the set time is Tuesday and Friday, but we can flow anytime we want to flow. Yeah,
Okay.
so this discussion was good. We talked about the Russian engagement in Africa now that other African countries now benefiting from it. And the question was, will Liberia look at that direction? So it was a good topic. We also talked about the protest in Kenya that the young people now are calling on the government, what his name, Bruto, William
Yeah,
Bruto,
whatever Ruto to resign,
to
step down.
resign for the increasing price, I mean, taxes on everything that young people said, no, this is not happening. And now they were able to use the military to massacre 200 of those young people. So now they're calling him to step down. So all of those things we're talking about. I think it was a good show and good having you here, coming more, and we hope to see you again. We'll be here on Tuesdays and Friday. On Tuesday, we usually have a full house because that is when everybody, some of the panelists here is at work. And our key host, his birthday is tomorrow. We want to say happy pre-birthday to Mr. Linford, who is now driving 3 hours to go and celebrate his birthday party. So tomorrow is his birthday. So and we wish him all the best and God you gave him many years to come. Friends, say you want to wish your brother happy birthday before we close up?
Oh yeah, I mean, only my colleague and the acting secretary general of EFLA on the wish him a happy birthday and many more years to celebrate. Uh, Enjoy your day. It comes once a year, so the country we live in. It kind of stressful work. So if you have opportunity to be off today, celebrate in grand style with your family. So yeah, that's all for me from my end.
All right. So on that note, want to say good night, and we'll leave you with this our little intro, and then we'll end the show, and we're back here on Tuesday.
Okay, I don't.
You are watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m.